So grime art is actually a thing, and you found the perfect video to explain how to make grime art in Autodesk SketchBook. Step 1 is to choose an image. This young man was posing for a stock photo, and for that we are going to mess around with his face. Next we lower the opacity of the image and add a background color. This makes the line art phase a little easier. On a new layer, we use a black taper paintbrush to outline and isolate all the skin from the image, tracing around the hairline, beard, facial features, and any clothing details. Once you are happy or have come to terms with your line work, create a new layer and position it between the image and the line work layer. This layer will be used for color. Using a thicker paintbrush and the color of your choosing, it's time to start coloring like an adult. Outlining around your line work layer, you can choose to fill the color with the same brush and waste time like I did, or use the flood fill tool. Bring the opacity of the base image back up to see how things are going. I decided there was too much skin showing through his part, so I went to go add more color. Based on our lengthy research and extensive reference library, we found that successful grime art uses white eyes. Now, the real fun begins. Using the same paintbrush used for your line art layer, start on a new layer, adding drips, wrinkles, folds, and generally gross stuff. There is really no right or wrong way to do this. Just have some fun with it. The decision was made to have his face spill over his beard a little. It's always good practice to keep your line work and color layers separate. Layer discipline will make changes in editing easier later on. Typically knowing when to stop is important, not so much when it comes to grime art. Things are looking a little bit flat, so it's time to add some shading. Typically I would add any highlights and shading on separate layers, but for this one I want to keep it simple, so I'm adding my shadows on the base color layer. I'm adding shadows based on the form of the head as well as the grime. Each bit of grime or drip will have its own shadow, but the neck under the beard will be the darkest, along with the underside of the nose and underneath the glasses. You may have noticed that I've been using the same paintbrush throughout the entire tutorial. It's called Paint Tapered, and pro members can find it in the designer set in the brush library. It's never too late to go back and add detail to your line work. Here I'm adding some more drips to pull the grime off of the forehead. This is where we start adding highlights. Same rules apply. In this instance I've added a new layer. I'm using the same paintbrush with a lighter pink hue, highlighting the drips and the grime as well as the shape of the dude's head. To make this pop a little bit further, we'll add a new layer for pure white highlights. Here I've merged the color layers and made a duplicate. That way I can experiment with different color options, keeping the original layer untouched. You can open this window under the Image tab, click on Adjust, and choose Hue Saturation. This Simpsons yellow is pretty neat, but ultimately I'm going to stick with the red. And for the purpose of extending this tutorial, I figure why not add some grime to his pocket. Adding line art to the line art layer and color to the color layer, then adding shadows and highlights using the same color palette. And that's pretty much it. With SketchBook, you have all the tools you need to get started with your very own custom grime art. If you don't have it already, head over to sketchbook.com to download.